Welcome into CBS Sports HQ, presented by Capital One. Happy Monday. I'm Jordan Giorgio. We begin today with the Cleveland Browns announcing that Shedeur Sanders will get the start once again on Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers. The fifth-round pick started his first career game this past weekend against the Raiders. He threw for 209 yards, a touchdown, and a pick in a win in Las Vegas. Dillon Gabriel, who went 1-7 as the team starter, has cleared concussion protocol, but despite being given a clean bill of health, he's been relegated to QB2 for this weekend's game against San Francisco. Now we got to see a solid Shedeur Sanders, if you will, on Sunday. And just some interesting food for thought for you. Since 1999, Shedeur is the only starting Browns quarterback to actually win his first career start. All the others 0-17. Very interesting there. For much more on this, let's go ahead and welcome in our own Ryan Wilson. Ryan, great to see you. Despite Dillon Gabriel, as I mentioned, being cleared from concussion protocol, Shedeur gets the nod, his second NFL start. What did you see from him this past weekend, and what are your expectations for him this week against a much different defense in the San Francisco 49ers?
Hey, Jordan, good to see you. It's been so long since a rookie Browns quarterback won a game in his first start that Deion Sanders, Shedeur's dad, was 28 years old, a four-time Pro Bowler playing for the Cowboys at the time back in 1995. That's how long ago that's been. I had an afro to go back 30 years. That's how long ago it's been. But in terms of what Shedeur did on Sunday, he did the things he didn't do the week before in the two quarters that he played against the Ravens when he looked completely lost, mostly because he hadn't taken any first-team reps, not a little, zero. Got a week's worth of practice with the team. Kevin Stefanski, I thought, did a good job of scheming things up to make it easier for Shedeur. A lot of quick throws, a lot of screen game. We saw Harold Fannin Jr. get involved. We saw the Dylan Sampson long touchdown run there in the highlights. And then he was able to make plays outside of the pocket. We saw that 55-yard touchdown bomb, or almost touchdown bomb, long pass down the field to Isaiah Bond, and he was playing with a lot more confidence. It looked a lot more like the Shedeur Sanders we saw in Colorado, and nothing like the Shedeur Sanders we saw last week when he was not prepared at all. So that's what you expect from a fifth-round pick who hadn't played a lot, and I think he took a lot of steps in the right direction. Also helping Jordan, 10 sacks by that defense led by Myles Garrett.
So we get to see him for a second straight week. Right, but should he remain the starter for the remainder of the season for the Browns?
No, that's a great question, and that's something Kevin Stefanski sort of danced around on Sunday. He named him the starter this week against the 49ers on Monday, and actually wrote about this today on CBSSports.com. There's no reason not to have Shedeur start the final 6 games of the season. Not necessarily because he's the best quarterback in the building. We'll find out. We've only seen him play 6 quarters of regular season football. You mentioned that Dillon Gabriel was 1-7. He was up and down. Dillon Gabriel is a point guard in the truest sense of the word, in that he can distribute the ball in short and intermediate throws. He cannot push the ball down the field, and I know that because he made exactly one pass beyond 30 yards down the field, and it was incomplete. We saw what Shedeur could do when he pushed the ball down the field, and he's been pretty successful in those 6 quarters. But we'll get an overall picture of who Shedeur is over the next 6 games, and then we can find out, Jordan, what the Browns need to do with the 2 first-round picks they have going into the 2026 NFL Draft. Because 10 times in the last 15 years has a team drafted a quarterback, and then the very next year used a first-round pick on a quarterback. You can see it here on this awesome graphic by our guys. So the lesson is, unless Shedeur, we get to find out who he is and he balls out, there's a very real possibility that the Browns will be doing what they did in 2018 and drafting Baker Mayfield first overall a year after they'd taken DeShone Kizer in round 2.
So let's go ahead and dive in more into that point, right, considering the NFL draft. And obviously they know what they have in Dillon Gabriel. They still need to know what they have in Shedeur Sanders before they take on the NFL draft in April, which is why you're kind of alluding to them making this decision right now. Where right now they hold the 6th overall pick in the upcoming draft, what are the expectations right at this moment for the Browns in terms of the NFL draft?
Yeah, so they have the 6th pick based on their record of 3-8, and they have the 22nd pick by virtue of that trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars that allowed the Jaguars to get Travis Hunter. So now you have 2 first-round picks. As we sit here, knowing what we know about everything in that quarterback room with both Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, you would imagine that the Browns are going to draft a quarterback. History tells us as much. Now, if Shedeur comes out and plays like Brock Purdy, a former 7th-round pick, or plays like Kirk Cousins, a former 4th-round pick, then we can have a conversation about other needs. Maybe it's offensive line, maybe it's wide receiver, and those are both huge needs for this team. But if you don't have a quarterback, it does not matter if the other 21 players are future Hall of Famers. You are not going to win football games consistently. You're not going to play January and certainly February football. So I think if we're being honest with ourselves, whoever the coach is, whoever the GM is in February, March, and April, quarterback is priority number one, unless over the next 5 or 6 games, Shedeur Sanders proves otherwise. He got off to a good start. Now we need to see more. He needs to build on that as we move towards December.
QB right now, number one, as you just said. Can you give me a name and who that might be at 6?
Yeah, absolutely. Fernando Mendoza is going to be the favorite. We'll see if any of these quarterbacks remain or decide to declare for the draft. I think Dante Moore at Oregon has a really good chance of returning to school. We'll see what happens with Ty Simpson out of Alabama, who's had a fantastic season, but only a one-year starter. He could return to school, in which case it could be slim pickings, and then the price for those quarterbacks gets even more expensive if there's only 1-2 guys worth top 32 picks. So I would lean Fernando Mendoza right now. This is also good news for Shedeur/Dylan if there's only one quarterback available in round 1. But I think that with Ty Simpson, Fernando Mendoza, and Dante Moore, those are the 3 favorites. Jordan, we have to see which one of those guys, if all 3 decide to come out or if some of them decide to return to school.
Yes, we will find out soon enough. We'll leave it there from now. Ryan Wilson, much more from you later on here on CBS Sports HQ. We're at 3-8 on the season. Currently, you see a look at the 2026 NFL draft order. The Cleveland Browns sit there holding the 6th overall pick, and as Ryan noted, also hold the 22nd pick in the first round of the NFL draft.